Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with Jay Unboxing here, giving you a personal prediction for Chantelle Cameron versus Katie Taylor. And as always, this is just my take. Of course, your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. It's a very, very interesting fight. One of the better fights made thus far this year in terms of significance, the quality of the fighters, of course, the matchup itself, two undefeateds, two undisputed champions going at it. Would love to hear all your thoughts, predictions, bets, all that good stuff in the comments section below. And a little bit of fight info here. We have Cameron taking on Taylor. This will be at the 3 Arena in Dublin, Ireland. This will be Katie Taylor's kind of homecoming fight here, airing live on DAZN in the junior welterweight division with Cameron's Ring Magazine, IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO versions of the title on the line. Now, considering this is a replacement bout after the rematch between Taylor and Amanda Serrano fell through, yeah, not bad. This is a damn good fight, to be honest. You have two undisputed champions in their respective divisions, with Cameron, of course, being the undisputed champion at 140 and Taylor being the same at 135 pounds, facing off with both in just about the primes of their careers. Now, that can sometimes seem a bit misleading in terms of its significance when you have a clear and a beyond favorite just, happen to be where they kind of look the same on paper, but in reality, one is significantly better. However, the slightly better fighter, I think, in this case would be considered Taylor, but she's moving up and facing a bigger fighter, and so it adds a lot of compelling drama to this fight, potentially. While the odds makers are saying, of course, Taylor is the pick, it's not that cut and dry necessarily because of these circumstances, which obviously adds to the fun. Overall, this is a good fight and pretty close to a pick-em, all things considered. So, which lady keeps their O and takes home the gold? Let's break this one down. Starting off with the champion here. For Cameron to win, I think you want to get the right hand going. That's your bread and butter. Naturally, it's going to be a shot you're going to want to look to get going here. You throw it pretty well. It's probably your best power shot, if you will. You're not a particularly hard puncher. You don't have a great deal of knockouts, but it's certainly a shot that can score well, bust up a fighter, and potentially do some damage to a maybe naturally smaller fight. This needs to be what you get to work on in order to win this fight. It can also work as a lead due to your kind of range advantage. It's a shot you can throw pretty safely from the outside. Taylor, of course, has the speed advantage, so you might want to be careful throwing it all too much and becoming predictable, but it's a shot certainly that you can get going from time to time to throw her off. It can, of course, help build into you pushing her back and getting into those combinations and exchanges where you, as the bigger fighter, it might favor you to have that kind of action going on, and I think it can start with that right hand getting to work. I would also say make her feel the size. And that's kind of an obvious one. Otherwise, what's the point? If it's just skill, you could argue Taylor has the edge there. You don't want to give her the edge. Even if she didn't have the edge and you were both pretty evenly matched in that department, the tiebreaker would be the size. You need to make her feel you have to be bigger, not just in terms of on paper, but in the ring. You need to lean on her, put some spite into your shots. You need to press her back, push her, let her feel that you're the bigger, stronger person in the ring. And the more you can do that, the more it's going to really set the kind of precedent for the fight you want to have on the night. This is going to make her have to move back and back a lot more than maybe she wants to. It could tire her out because, again, she's carrying extra weight. She's having to move backwards with it, and you're pressing forward, building momentum. But if you're unable to do that pretty early and often, it's not going to be done enough to really make an imprint on the fight, and you're giving Taylor far better a chance than you obviously want. So you certainly have to make her feel the size difference. And finally, I would say cut off the ring. You cannot chase. That's the biggest no-no in this fight if you're Cameron. You're not faster than her. You have slower feet than her. You have slower hands than her. She's going to be able to dart in and out, light you up a little bit more if you let. When you're chasing, you're kind of taking off half her work. She doesn't even need to dart in that much. She just needs to land the shots and get out of the way. This is certainly not something you can allow to happen. You have to corner her. You have to be cutting off the ring. This also will allow for you to get more power into your shots, more combinations. Again, as you're cutting off the ring, it'll mean you settle the fight down a bit, you tame her a little bit, and then you can really get to work with some of your power shots. But if you're just chasing her, you're simply going to play a game of catch-up, and, with 2-minute rounds, for only 10 of them in women's fights, you just might not have enough time to catch up enough if she gets an early lead because you're chasing far too often. And switching over to the challenger, for Taylor to win, I think you want to be quick and be first. Even at lightweight, you're not a particularly big puncher. This is no different. This is 5 pounds north, and it didn't feel as though you were drained and so you were losing power. You just don't have great deals of power in your shots. It is what it is. Know what you are. Your aim should be to land more stiff shots, shot that imprint the fight, kind of make her know you're there, but it's certainly not going to be shots that necessarily put her away. You just don't want to let her get off first either, because if you're allowing her to do that, again, it's her setting the tempo. You want to get in, get out, land those shots quick, move side to side, and and reset for yourself as she's then chasing you, allowing for you to have better chances to counter. I would also say double up the jab. Now, Cameron has the reach advantage. Again, if you're Taylor, a fighter looking to land with more speed, looking to box a bit more, move a bit more, the reach disadvantage can sometimes really matter in those kinds of fights. What you have to do is find a way to close the distance safely, and you can do that with a jab that has some speed. You have speed. You have a decent jab. Double it up. It'll close that distance. It adds a few inches to your shot, if you will, and then you can still get out of the way ducking under those shots. Of course, this is also a scoring blow that sets up bigger, better scoring blows. So why wouldn't you get it going anyway when you have a pretty decent piston to begin with? The sooner you get that jab going in this fight, the sooner you start dictating terms, and the better your result will be. Finally, I would say land the left hook. You have a clippy little left hook that can really creep in and catch the fighters off guard. This is a shot you like to throw. You can do it pretty well and land it as a lead shot while also setting up that right hand. It's certainly a shot you're going to want to get going. Also, because of the trajectory of the shot and the fact that it's forcing you sort of pivot anyway, it allows for you to kind of spin and turn her while you're using angles to get out of the way without having to quote-unquote run around the ring. This will allow for you to make smaller, more precise movements that keep you in your safe zone while still scoring and getting her off balance and throwing her up sort of out of reach in her own respects. This will get you some power shots as well because you can throw them from more angles and from the side where she's not expecting it. Again, you might not knock her out, but at the very least, these are scoring blows that help you pick up those rounds. And you can start with that clipping little left hook that, again, scores in its own right, but also allows for you to get into better positions to do more work. Now, in terms of my pick here, while this might end up being close down the stretch, my pick is for Katie Taylor to become the junior welterweight champion of the world. I think her speed and better skills will help Taylor cruise through the first few rounds, kind of scoring consistently with that left-right combination and not letting Cameron get back in this fight. While Taylor will move in and out well, she will be tagged at times, and that could add up down the stretch of this fight, which of course could allow for Cameron to have moments. Still, the lead will build. The pressure from Cameron might make it close down in the sort of second half of this fight, if you will, but the experience and home crowd of Taylor will spur her on, coupled with the better shot selection and technique, and it'll earn her enough points late to pick up a decent decision. Winner, Katie Taylor via fairly close unanimous decision. Now, in terms of the betting odds here, you have Taylor as a sizable favorite coming in at a minus 180 with Cameron coming in at a plus 140. Decent value in both of those here. You know, again, it kind of just depends on who you expect to win this fight. They're both undefeated, don't know what it's like to lose. Taylor certainly has more of the skill, more of the kind of cleaner, crisper technique. At the same time, Cameron is a bigger fighter, can certainly take a punch, has a great engine on her, can fight for all 10 rounds, and Taylor has faded at times. Maybe with more weight, she might as well. You certainly have reason to pick either here. Again, I would keep them pretty moderate, kind of in that mid-range in terms of bet size, but it really is just what you expect to happen in this fight. Again, if it were me, I'd bet on the Taylor outcome here. You're getting decent enough odds either way, so certainly something to play with there. In terms of the over-under, nothing to be surprised by here. It's at 8.5 with the over coming in at minus 1,000 and the under coming in at a plus 550. Basically means they expect it to go the distance, as most people do, in my opinion. Neither girl, again, is a particularly big puncher, so that's going to happen. These are odds, in my opinion, you kind of just stay away from. If you like the long shot, sure, why not? 5-1 odds, but for the most part, nothing really to see here. I'd keep it pushing, but in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is 15-6 with 10 exact, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your predictions, bets, so on and so forth. What do you think the atmosphere for this one will be, and how do you think it impacts the fight? We'd love to hear that down in the comments section below. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at jcalderon_JOB. You can email me at junboxing@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you there. Also, be sure to check out junboxing.com for schedule, results, betting odds, rankings, grades, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time.